If you're even remotely thinking about buying an SUV in the next couple of years, you need to pause for a moment because the 2026 to 2027 window is about to completely change what an SUV actually means. We're not talking about minor facelifts or small tech upgrades. We're talking about full redesigns, next-generation platforms, hybrid and electric breakthroughs, and features that used to exist only in luxury concept cars quietly becoming mainstream. Most people rush into buying what's available today without realizing how close the next wave really is. And once these new SUVs hit the road, a lot of buyers are going to look back and say, I should have waited. That's exactly why this conversation matters right now. Automakers aren't just reacting anymore. They're preparing. They know buyers want space, safety, performance, efficiency, and technology all at the same time. And they also know that brand loyalty isn't guaranteed anymore. One great SUV can pull customers away from an entire segment overnight. The next generation of SUVs is being built for a different kind of driver. Someone who wants comfort but doesn't want boredom. Someone who wants power but also wants efficiency. Someone who expects their vehicle to feel as smart as the phone in their pocket. And here's the part most people don't realize. Many of the best SUVs coming in 2026 and 2027 aren't just upgrades. They're resets, clean sheet designs, new architectures, new thinking. If you've noticed current SUVs starting to look similar, that's about to change. Manufacturers are moving away from safe, predictable styling and stepping into bold, confident design, stronger front ends, more muscular proportions, interiors that feel like modern living spaces instead of traditional dashboards. Big screens, yes, but also better materials, smarter layouts, and fewer unnecessary buttons. But design is just the surface. Underneath, platforms are becoming lighter, stronger, and more flexible. One single platform now supports gas, hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and full electric versions. That flexibility allows brands to respond faster to market demand without compromising performance or safety. And safety is another area where 2026 and 2027 SUVs are going to quietly raise the bar. Advanced driver assistance systems are becoming standard instead of optional. Lane centering, adaptive cruise, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking. These features are being refined to feel smoother, more natural, and less intrusive. The goal isn't to replace the driver. It's to reduce fatigue, stress, and mistakes. Now let's talk about interiors, because this is where the biggest emotional shift is happening. People don't just sit in their vehicles anymore. They live in them. Long commutes, road trips, school runs, work calls, navigation, music, podcasts. Your SUV is part of your daily routine. Automakers finally understand this, and the upcoming models reflect that understanding. Seats are getting wider, more supportive, and more adjustable. Second and third rows are no longer an afterthought. Storage is smarter. Wireless charging actually works properly. Voice assistants understand natural speech. Infotainment systems boot up instantly instead of lagging. These aren't flashy headline features, but they completely change how the vehicle feels over time. Performance is also evolving. Bigger engines are no longer the default answer. Turbocharging, hybrid assistance, and electric torque are delivering quicker acceleration with better efficiency. SUVs are becoming faster without becoming wasteful. And for people who still care about towing, off-road capability, and durability, don't worry. That side of the SUV world isn't disappearing. It's getting smarter. Modern four-wheel drive systems can adapt automatically. Suspension systems can raise or lower based on terrain. Drive modes actually change how the vehicle behaves instead of just altering throttle response. This is where waiting really pays off. The SUVs launching in 2026 and 2027 benefit from years of customer feedback. Automakers know what annoyed people in current models. They know what failed. They know what worked. And they've had time to fix it properly instead of patching it with updates. Another major reason these upcoming SUVs matter is electrification, but not in the way people fear. This isn't about forcing everyone into full electric overnight. It's about giving buyers options. Mild hybrids for better fuel economy. Plug-in hybrids for short daily drives with gas backup. Full EVs for those ready to make the jump. Choice is the theme. and the technology supporting these powertrains is far more mature than it was even a few years ago. Batteries last longer, charging is faster, thermal management is better. Software updates actually improve performance instead of breaking features. That maturity makes a huge difference in ownership experience. Resale value is another quiet factor. SUVs built on older platforms tend to age faster. New generation platforms hold value better because they stay relevant longer. Waiting for a 2026 or 2027 model can mean your vehicle feels modern for years instead of outdated after 2. Now here's where suspense really comes in. Some of the SUVs coming in this period are from brands you already trust, but redesigned so completely they barely resemble their predecessors. Others are from brands trying to reinvent themselves, aiming directly at segments they've never dominated before. Competition is about to get intense. Luxury brands are pushing down into mainstream segments with more accessible pricing. Mainstream brands are pushing up with near-luxury interiors. The line between premium and non-premium is getting blurry. That benefits buyers more than anyone. You'll see SUVs offering features that used to be locked behind expensive trims now appearing as standard. You'll see entry-level models that don't feel entry-level at all. And you'll see flagship models that rival vehicles costing far more just a few years ago. The next 2 years are not about incremental change. They're about repositioning. If you buy too early, you risk missing out on a generation that's designed to last longer, drive better, and adapt to future technology more easily. This is especially important if you plan to keep your SUV for 5 to 10 years. Those extra months of waiting can translate into years of satisfaction. And here's the most important part. None of this requires rushing. The best buying decisions are made when you're informed, not pressured. If this is already changing how you think about your next SUV, take a second and tap the like button. It helps this kind of detailed, no-hype content reach people who actually care about making smart choices. And if you want to stay updated as these models get closer to launch, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because we've only just scratched the surface. The SUVs coming in 2026 and 2027 aren't just better. They're more intentional. They reflect a shift in how vehicles are designed, built, and experienced. And once you see what's ahead, it becomes much harder to settle for what's available today. If you're even remotely thinking about buying an SUV in the next couple of years, you need to pause for a moment because the 2026 to 2027 window is about to completely change what an SUV actually means. We're not talking about minor facelifts or small tech upgrades. We're talking about full redesigns, next-generation platforms, hybrid and electric breakthroughs, and features that used to exist only in luxury concept cars quietly becoming mainstream. Most people rush into buying what's available today without realizing how close the next wave really is. And once these new SUVs hit the road, a lot of buyers are going to look back and say, I should have waited,